Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the other two trigonometric functions. So yesterday we talked about tangent. Today we're going to talk about sine and cosine. And so a real quick review. These are the three trigonometric functions that represent two of the three sides of a right triangle. So if I have a right triangle ABC, we know lots of stuff, but if I want to focus on one angle, so let's say I want to focus on angle A. First of all, the side across from the 90-degree angle is always the hypotenuse. And then the side opposite the angle that we're talking about, so if we're talking or referring to angle A, then this would be the opposite because it's across from A. And then this would be what we call the adjacent. Okay, so then tangent, as we discovered yesterday, so if I were to say tangent of A is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Well, today we're going to talk about sine of A, which is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse, and then cosine of A, which is going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Okay, so this will be the opposite over the adjacent, opposite over the hypotenuse, and this would be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Okay, so we're going to focus on sine and cosine today. And so basically, just like tangent, our problems are going to be almost identical to yesterday's problems, except today we're going to focus on sine and cosine. So for example number 1, what we're going to do is we have a right triangle, and we'll call this RST, where T is a 90-degree angle, and the hypotenuse is 65, and 63, and then 16. Alright, so now if we look at example number 1, we're asked to find the sine of S and the cosine of S. So sine of S is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Cosine of S is, equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So this is our angle S. Okay? And so what we're looking for is we're looking for the opposite of S. So the opposite of S, in other words, let's label this. So across from the 90-degree angle is going to be the hypotenuse. Right? Here's the 90-degree angle. Across from it is the hypotenuse. If this is S, then the opposite of S is the side opposite of S is this one. And then the adjacent side is the remaining side. So to find sine of S, I'm just comparing the opposite, which is 63, over the hypotenuse, which is 65. And we can't reduce that, so we just leave that the way that it is. The cosine of S is just going to be the adjacent, which is 16, over the hypotenuse, which is 65. And again, we can't reduce that, so we just leave that the way that it is.